Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. It was showdown. They never failed to disappoint. If you're an Adelaide Crows fans, you were not disappointed. Port Adelaide, a little bit of work to do.
They were outstanding, the Crows, in every facet. Around the footy, they maximised Port Adelaide's weakness with the ruck, so they beat them up around the ball. Defensively, I thought they were really strong. They actually conceded more inside 50s against, but their unheralded defence was outstanding with some injuries back there. But one man who has been a good player, a very good player for a long, long period of time is Brodie Smith, and he's been good enough to join us. Brodie, welcome to the Sunday Footy Show, and congratulations on your form last night.
G'day boys, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was a terrific night for the footy club. Season on the line, and to get a big showdown win, it was outstanding for us.
Brodie, can we just set the record straight on something? Stevie J showed a clip before of Tex Walker saying that Kane is no mate of his. Surely that's just all theatre, isn't it?
No, they're good mates. Kane's actually been on our flight the last couple of weeks, and I think they went down the aisle, had a little chat at the back of the plane, and they're good mates.
I think Tex was trying to push him out.
That is not
Tex
not
would
true.
have the spitballs, you know.
Yeah.
High school.
Well, Brownie had those little cool fruits being chucked at him. I think that was the same.
But you have been sharing a flight with the Crows,
a couple of times, yep. Let's have a look at some of the highlights as I try and save myself here. Brodie, what impressed you most about the performance last night? Because, I mean, in every facet, you really dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, our focus for the game was just contest. You know, kept Matty Crouch in, who was terrific last week and had an outstanding night. Really, all we wanted to do was just win the ball around the contest and get it forward. And if we can get that right, the rest of our game sort of seems to click from there. You know, our offense from the half-back line with Junior having such a terrific game is awesome. And then obviously Tex, every time we went forward, Tex seemed to be involved and kick goals for us.
In the lead up to the game, and it's been the case a couple of times when Port Adelaide have played Adelaide, they've been quite outspoken for the dislike. Did you use that as motivation? I think Ryan Burton during the week said that he hates the footy club. Now, that's probably not a secret, but it's unheard of, really, for the opposition to speak like that about that. And was that used during the week?
No, we had it last year, so we're starting to get used to they roll out the hatred script every year for the showdown now. So something that we're used to, and we just wanted to focus on what we had to do. As I said, our season was on the line, so we weren't worried about them. We were worried about winning the contest and winning the game of footy.
And Brodie, tell us a little bit about Jordan Dawson. He was up at Sydney. He was an average to good footballer. He's become an absolute superstar of the competition since joining Adelaide, and now the captain. Tell us what he's like around the footy club, and you know, just what he's like as a captain on field.
Oh, he's been unbelievable. I mean, to come into the footy club and within 6 months he was in the leadership group, and the leadership he's shown amongst the boys and the way he just took over that midfield, and he just runs everything game day. He's got everyone set up in the positions they need to be in, encouraging blokes. He's got a really good feel for the game. He's like another coach out there, so he knows exactly what the tempo of the game is and what style we need to be playing at that time. And he's just been outstanding. I can't talk highly enough of him.
Hey Brodie, Wayne Miller's ability to run with the football last night, but more importantly, he stopped so many forward entries going through. I thought his game, both offensively and defensively, was outstanding.
Yeah, he's going to take me out of a job if he keeps doing this. But, he was terrific. He pushed me up to the wing and just took over from half-back. It's so good to see. He's a super talent. He was a high draft pick. He's had so many injury issues over the years. So to see him in the form he's in at the moment is just so good, and he's really important for us.
Brodie, you've twice now beaten very well Port Adelaide, the second team on the ladder. You've pushed Collingwood to 2 points and 1 point. You've beaten the third place team, Brisbane Lions, and yet you find yourself with a 9-win, 10-loss scoreline. Are you going to really regret some of those losses you've had, given how well you can perform? And I know there's still the season alive component, but have you left yourself too much work to do?
We certainly made it hard for ourselves, and we are already regretting those close games you speak of. But we did touch on it last night after the game that our form against top four sides is really strong, and for whatever reason, teams a little bit lower, we seem to drop away a little bit. So, you know, Gold Coast got us done last time, and we're coming up against them this week. So I guess the focus for us is how do we capture that form of top four sides going into Gold Coast, who are right there with us in a finals race at the moment. So that'll be the focus this week. But it is frustrating that we can't play like that every week. But I guess a little bit of inexperience and a bit of maturity in the group next year, and hopefully we go from good to great. But we're still right in it this year.
I'd imagine a couple of years ago you thought that Tex was on his last legs at the football club, but his leadership and his form has been outstanding the last couple of seasons. How long do you think he can play for?
Oh, he just keeps getting better and better. I don't know how he's doing it, and what he did last night was just phenomenal. I think this is going to be his best return throughout his career, so it's just outstanding what he's doing. And as you said, it didn't look great 3 or 4 years ago, and he's just kept holding on. And now he's, as you see here, that goal there, I don't know any key forward that can balk someone on the mark and then chuck it on their left from 50. It's just incredible. So absolutely loving the Texan, and he's probably kept us in a few games this year and won a few for us as well. So if he keeps doing that, he can stay as long as he wants.
Unsurprisingly, he topped the votes. Just a flawless performance, really. 15 score involvements he had. Matt Crouch, I mean, hasn't he turned back the clock? And he's too good not to be playing at AFL level. You mentioned Dawson, 10 score involvements for him. And Zach Butters, I thought, for Port Adelaide was outstanding. He had 10 score involvements as well. 15 contested possessions, 6 clearances, and was Port Adelaide's best. Let's look at the prize pack for you, Brodie. We'll start with the JLab headphone. It is the best prize pack in the business. 70 hours of playtime thanks to JLab, your kind of tech. Know you're a golfer, the Odyssey White Hot Versa putter. That's valued at $450 thanks to Odyssey. Your golf apparel is sorted thanks to Clutch & Co, the perfect blend of style and comfort. Clutch performances are incoming. Next time you're on the course, you'll look good with the Callaway Tour cap as well as the Travis Matthews hats. 4 of those to keep the whole playing group happy. The OGO backpacks are terrific. OGO, you check them out, au.ogo.com. The bar fridges, a custom designed bar fridge with your name on it. The Aquila shoes, premium quality footwear since 1958. The Fizz Functional as well. This is just magnificent, sparkling water, 0 sugar, no calories. Glow is relaxation in a can. The Rix Eyewear, check out these, rixeyewear.com.au, a pair of those. And also a meal when you're in town in Docklands, head into Platform 28. It's our favourite pub right here in the Docklands.
Oh, certainly it is. What's on for the rest of this Sunday for you, Brodie?
I'm actually going to the zoo. So,
well, it looks like it's behind you
already. Yeah, look at the elephant in the background.
Yeah, I just shot that in South Africa one year.
That's good.
Came up, but
can always rely.
Going on the zoo.
Oh, good on you, mate. You enjoy it. You can always rely on you to address the elephant in the room, can't we?
Yeah, you can too, Joe.
Yeah. All right, good on you, Brodie. Thanks for your time this morning.
Cheers, boys. Chomp on, chompers.
Yeah, chomp on.
Chomp on.
That's good. Good. Funny.
No, mate.
I like that one.
Do you?
Yeah, I did.
Welcome back. You are watching the Sunday Footy Show. Let's get straight into it now because the Sydney Swans surge to September continues. It's going to be tough, but Essendon have also made it very tough for themselves.
Yeah, so we have a look here. Goulden 37, Jake Lloyd 31 and Warner 26 and a goal. We'll go to the match footage. It was a close game. Sydney got off to a pretty good start. The first quarter sort of ebbed and flowed, and it wasn't really until the second quarter of the game where the Swans kicked 5 goals to 2 and sort of looked like they were kicking away, and the game was going to be all theirs and they were going to run away and win by 6 or 8 goals. But it looked like they shut up shop a little bit too early in this game of footy. Went in to save the game mode. Yeah, went in to save the game, didn't take any risks, were really slow with the footy, and then it sort of ignited Essendon. So when they got their hands back on the footy, they were trying to take the game on. And the momentum was in their favour, and you would have thought if the game had gone for maybe another a minute, I think Essendon would have got over the line.
Langford's become a good player, hasn't he?
Yeah, he bowled up again, kicked 5 goals. He's having an unbelievable season, Damo.
I reckon he has, Stevie. I mean, he covered for Wright not being there early in the piece, and he's still one of their leading forwards, even with Wright back there, and he's forced, obviously, Wiedemann out of it.
Geez, Errol Goulden's put together a nice 7 or 8 weeks. He's put together a very good season, but playing a lot more out on that wing and just big numbers. Had another 37. Errol Goulden does not waste a disposal. 725 metres gained, 9 inside 50s and 11 score involvements. Now, there's a lot of midfielders putting their name up for All-Australian at the moment. He would be one of them. I wouldn't have thought he'd be in there at the moment. I imagine he'd be talked about in the squad, but just continues to get the job done week in, week out at the moment, and he uses the ball so well. So having a fantastic season. Wouldn't mind betting he's right up there in their best and fairest as well.
100%, Nathan. That gets reflected in my votes. Errol was the best man on the ground. We know how damaging he is by foot and accumulates a lot of the ball. I thought Warner was damaging when he got the ball in hand, particularly later on in the game when the game was on the line. Langford kicks the 5 goals and Papley ignited them, kicked a really important goal at the end of the game and set them alight.
The Western Bulldogs and Giants played it out in Ballarat, and for the Giants it was their 9th venue this year where they chalked up a win.
Spoken a lot about Toby Green in this game, and Riccardi kicked 3 goals and then slapped the last one to Toby Green, which was nice. But again, the Bulldogs got big numbers through the midfield, and for the first half it looked like a match-winning score was going to be kicked, but after half-time they just couldn't quite hit the scoreboard. It was hard conditions down there to kick the goals, but again, the Bulldogs, with so much midfield domination, weren't able to put it on the scoreboard.
Even with those hard conditions, was it a
very windy down there.
Brownie, when they got to 35 points up, even with the concussion to Keith and the injury to Bruce, you shouldn't concede that from that point.
No, you shouldn't at all. No, you shouldn't. And it goes to what Kane's probably talking about. But even in the last quarter, Cody Waitman missed 2 snaps that Cody Waitman just kicks every day of the week. Jamara on his right, which is non-dominant, but Jamara uses his right foot really well, missed one. So if they had nailed 1 or a minimum 2 of those, then they win the game. But the Giants, in the big moments, as you said, they're an anywhere, anytime side.
I think the reason Sam Taylor separates himself from the other great key defenders in the game is because he plays on the best player every week, puts his hand up to do that, and yesterday it was Norton, but then he does this. So the 8 intercepts again, so he's by far and away the best defender in the league. Yes, Darcy Moore's been outstanding this year, but he gets a lot of goals kicked on him. Yes, Alir has been good. Yes, Harris Andrews has been good, but this guy is so much better.
He's missed 7 games of footy. He's obviously played 12. Is that enough? I know it's hard for you to answer that question given you are an official selector.
I think it is, Damo.
You reckon 12 is enough?
He can't answer it, but I think it is.
Because the 12 have been quite extraordinary.
There's been a few players who have made it with only 14 games played. I think Nigel Lapham was the last one, maybe in 02.
Gary Ablett did
7 games. Gary Ablett in that great year. So
I missed 6 one year, Brownie, and still made it. We'll go
suspended by your own club.
What did you miss the 6 for?
You're suspended by your own club.
Suspensions and internal suspensions, whatever else. So have a look at the votes here. So he's a little bit stiff, Sam Taylor. 100% he's an All-Australian lock this season with the games missed. But Toby Green, I said to a mate, we're driving down in the car, I said half-time, it's the Toby show if they are to win the game, and he came out and kicked 4 in that 3rd quarter, put him back in the game. Thought English dominated the ruck. Kelly and Liberatore through the midfield were the 2 best through the engine room. So there's the votes.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sunday Footy Show, wherever you might be watching it. Hope you're having a terrific Sunday so far, unless, of course, you're a Geelong supporter.
And they're one of the clubs, Fremantle, that win down there more often than not, and they got the job done again yesterday. Nobody saw this coming. Everybody expected Geelong to win this comfortably again. Sarong was good. Brayshaw. The Cats started okay, and you thought that it was going to be business as usual down there, but slowly but surely, Fremantle started to win the time in the forward half. So they won the inside 50s by 3 yesterday, which isn't a big margin, but I can't remember many sides beating Geelong at inside 50s down at GMHBA Stadium. And when Fremantle have won well this year, it's been their pace players who have done the damage. So Schultz was good, Frederick, Clark, and Geelong couldn't handle their pace. And when the Bulls played inside their half of the ground, they looked really dangerous, Fremantle, and their pressure in that 3rd quarter, the Cats dropped to 150 in the pressure, and that's when Fremantle took full advantage of that.
Yeah, Sarong's led so well from the front. He's outstanding yesterday, but shout out to Pearce. I've been critical of his form and his leadership this year. As good a game as he's played all year yesterday against good opposition. So him and Ryan in the back line won a number of critical one-on-ones.
So here's the votes from yesterday's game, and it's stacked with Fremantle players. Pearce, as you spoke about, Kane, he was very good yesterday. Sarong, Brayshaw and Stewart again for the Cats. Made some mistakes late, Stewart, but he was very good.
Still to come on the Sunday Footy Show, Damo's Animal Fact, Damo's Agenda. We've got a couple of star handballers for you. It's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding, that one. That's all still to come on the Sunday Footy Show. But we're not done with yet because the Gold Coast upset the Lions.
They did, Brownie.
They certainly did. The Gold Coast Suns were outstanding. We've already spoken about them. Ben King kicked 5, and he did that on Harris Andrews. Flanders, since coming back into the competition after that injury layoff, has been outstanding. So the Brisbane Lions started okay, but the Gold Coast Suns, when they play like this, can beat anybody. But they don't do it consistently. I mean, they were really good around the stoppages yesterday. They were tough, they were hard on the Brisbane Lions, and they took their chances as well. I thought it's the best they've actually used the ball, so they went around Harris Andrews. Harris Andrews did not take 1 intercept mark yesterday, which is his benchmark. He's probably the best in the competition at the moment. Not 1 intercept mark. King kicked 5, obviously. And
great
just
goal
too quick. This was
Rao.
a good goal. Rao, he's just been consistent all year, Kane.
And Anderson was terrific as well. He kicked the stoppage goal as well. So you're right, their ball use was outstanding. They got out the back, but a really strong performance, and whether you just write that off as a Brisbane loss, and Collingwood have had one and put Adelaide this round, but there's some questions to answer. Ben King's response was enormous yesterday. I was thinking he needed to go back to the VFL and find some form. He'd hardly touched the footy in the last month, hadn't kicked a goal, came out with a real determination against a good player in Andrews who zoned off him and gave him far too much room to do that and launch and mark the footy, which is what he does when he's at his best. Even there, Andrews zoning off. You've got to play Ben King one-on-one, and he kicked 5. He's in your votes.
Miller, King, Anderson and Flanders, all Gold Coast players.
Let's flip the page now.
Let's move on to Friday night, TG. Even though I've already nearly watched all of the game with Brownie's analysis, so there's not much else I can tell you about it other than Carlton were outstanding. The 6 weeks that they put together, extraordinary in-season turnaround. And it does show that Collingwood are vulnerable. They do give sides an opportunity to stay in games. Brownie was about to show that McGovern goal there, but I just thought the way that they were able to shut down the ground and get back to their strength and dominate around the stoppages and the ferocity that they played with, without some good players as well. Like, Collingwood really didn't have an excuse. They had a full complement to pick from.
Like they were slightly off to the Pies. They fumbled more than I've ever seen them fumble this year. You've got to go back to the Brisbane Lions game at the Gabba where they fumbled more, and I think they didn't take their chances. They had enough inside 50s in the third quarter, but time and time again they missed easy goals. McCreary missed an easy one. Myercheck missed an easy one. So they had their opportunities, the Pies, and then the Blues took theirs. 6 straight to Curnow. Took the chances.
That's a sealer there from Jesse Motlop. Here's the votes. Curnow unlucky not to get a 10, but I gave him a 9. Newman outstanding. All their defenders really. Wiedering terrific, as was McGovern.
All right, still a few games to complete the round. Do you want to tell us about the Lou Richards medal?
I certainly do. I was about to. Nick Dacos winning at the moment. Butters, Petrarca gets to play today, so he could go close. Dawson down to Sarong, who's had a fantastic season, and Bontempelli. They're all playing for this, Tony, and we've seen this. This is one beast of a machine. The Lou Richards medal will drive off in the all-new Lexus RX 350H Luxury. Thanks to Lexus of Blackburn, a leader, not a follower, dynamic, unique it is, defying convention, just like the player that gets to drive it home. Thanks to Lexus of Blackburn, the all-new Lexus RX 350H Luxury is like nothing else. Your test drive is waiting at Lexus of Blackburn, the biggest prize in football.
And Stevie J nearly fell off his chair with a glaring omission.
No sign of Toby Green in that. The best player in the competition. He wins games off his own
I vote
boots.
for him every week, so...
And you bag the umpires for
No, I vote for him every week as well.
Well, he's not on that list.
And even you're
back.
turned around on Toby Green. Early days, you were a bit iffy on him, and now you've turned around, which is good.
Well, I don't vote.
No.
But Stevie J's got a point there. If you all vote for him, where is he?
Well, if he drives a nice Lexus around GWS, he might get stolen anyway, so...
OK, we'll take a break here on the Sunday Footy Show.